Leadership, kindly indulge me to, yes, let me acknowledge our visitors at the public gallery. We have 4 sets of schools. The first school is Artificial Catholic Basic B. Artificial Catholic Basic B. They are here being led by Agatha Gansa, who is a teacher, and the school is located in the Hunter West constituency. Hunter West constituency. I'm told your number is 56. The second school is Holy Family KG, Matayiko RC Primary School. Holy Family KG, Matayiko RC Primary School. You are being led by Theodora Ulawumi, who is a teacher, and the school is located in Abrikuma Central constituency. Abrikuma Central constituency. I'm told your number is 65. The third school is Asoko Esiman MAJHS. Asoko Esiman MAJHS. Your leader is Emmanuel Osumafo, who is also a teacher, and the school is located in Shama constituency. Shama constituency. Your number, I'm told, is 114. The last but not the least is Bodumase RCJHS. Bodumase RCJHS. Your leader is Isaac Ousu Amankwa, who is also a teacher, and the school is located in the, we don't have such a Kumewu, it's located in Kumewu constituency. Kumewu constituency. And your number, I'm told, is 55. So you are all welcome. We wish you a pleasant stay in Parliament. I hope you are monitoring whatever is going on. That should urge you to go and study hard, so that tomorrow, when we are not here, you will come and take over from us. Once again, you are welcome. Yes, leaders. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to draw the attention of the majority leader and then the minister responsible for rules. Mr. Speaker, sometime last week, the IDA facility for about $500 million for road infrastructure, that is the Ghana Market Access and Connectivity Project. It was referred to the Finance Committee, but the leadership of the Rules Committee were not included. And Mr. Speaker, I know that they are already looking at the documents, and Parliament, we are masters of our own rules, and I wanted to create your indulgence if we can add the leadership of the Rules Committee to this. Because, Mr. Speaker, it is so important, because that's why I'm saying that the road minister and the majority leader might guide me on this, because the IDA facility is purely for Ghana Market Access and Connectivity Project, which is purely rules. And for us to refer this to the Finance Committee without adding the leadership of the Rules Committee might be a problem. So, because the Road Committee, they will definitely have a broader understanding and a good information with regards to what needs to be done. So, Mr. Speaker, my application here is that if we can add the leadership of the Rules Committee to this, so that we can be able to take the report when they are done. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. An application has been made to me. Minister for Rules, can you make a comment on that?
Mr. Speaker, my colleague is right. Under normal circumstances, memos like this needed to be referred to both the Road and the Finance Committee. Mr. Speaker, it's just the financing agreement. There's enough opportunity for us to engage further the Road Committee even before implementation. So I'll plead with the respected leader that we take note of his concern. Going forward, we would address the issues he's raised, because I'm told that the Finance Committee actually sat already. But he's very right. At least leadership of the Road Committee should have been added to the Finance Committee.
Well. So, Honorable Habib, I'm told that the committee have already started consideration on it.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I am indifferent to what the road minister said. Save that if you look at the project, Mr. Speaker, with the document, they said the project comprises 4 integrated components. Number 1, rehabilitation of feeder roads. 2, road maintenance. 3, project maintenance and implementation support. It is all about roads.
Yes.
So for the fact that
Habib,
it is still not before
I'm with
us,
you.
if we can add
with
them,
you, but
if it will not hurt, if it will hurt, let's just add them and we can take the report later on.
Honorable Habib, as much as I appreciate where you are coming from, I think this referral was made last week, and I'm told the Finance Committee have already started working on it. So next time, like the minister said, next time you look at it again and do the appropriate referral. So question time.
Yes, question time. Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
So, honorable members, we have question time. So let's turn to page 4. The first question stands in the name of a member from Nsawama Drudgery, Honorable Frank Anodompre, the Minority Chief Whip. Honorable, let him make this omnibus permission. If the owner of the question is not here, any member from the caucus can ask the question for and on his behalf. Is the omnibus application okay?
No, Mr. Speaker, let us have application being made on a case-by-case basis to just follow the rules.
The questions are answered.
Yeah, the questions are already, the answers are also advertised.
Speaker, with respect.
Yes.
Speaker, I have the permission of the honourable member to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources the question. So, if Mr. Speaker, with your permission, if I may proceed.
Yes, let's hear you.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources whether some arrangements relating to the carbon credit market prevent or hamper the participation of private entities in the market, especially in the Ahafo region and its environs, and the reasons that may account for that.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Private entities are not excluded from participating in the carbon market. In fact, the carbon market framework encourages private sector involvement through voluntary carbon market projects, which allow private developers to initiate and register mitigation activities, eligibility for independent validators and verifiers, which enables private sector actors to play technical roles in project validation and monitoring, access to carbon finance, especially for nature-based solutions such as afforestation, reforestation, and sustainable land use practices. Honourable Speaker, while the framework is inclusive, several practical and structural factors may hamper private sector participation in the Ahafo region. And they are limited awareness and capacity, land tenure complexities, and high upfront costs. The Speaker, to address these challenges, the Ministry is working with the Forestry Commission and other key stakeholders to conduct capacity workshops for communities and other relevant actors. and to develop a nesting framework to streamline project development procedures within the forest sector and provide technical guidance that aligns with the carbon market procedures. And lastly, to promote community-private partnerships that allow with Ghana Red Plus strategy in the Ahafo landscape. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable John Darko, any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the minister mentioned that private entities are not prevented from participating. So I want to find out from the minister the plans is put in place to ensure that private people also have access to the carbon market. Just like he said, what are the practical steps he's put in place for these private persons to be able to access the carbon finance market?
Honorable members, please, we have invited the minister to come and respond to our question. Please, let's give him the audience, please.
Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As provided in my answer, private sector is really encouraged to participate in this market. Clearly, there are challenges, and I've outlined the challenges. They include capacity building workshops that we are currently doing, and then promote community-private partnerships that align with the government programs. And we will continue to engage and clear the hurdles for private sector participation. I thank you.
Yes, Honorable John Darko.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. So, Minister mentioned the challenges. We are really interested in knowing the solutions. Mr. Speaker, as part of the solutions, he mentioned that they will engage in, they will conduct capacity building workshops for communities and other relevant actors. So I want to ask the minister, which communities has he identified for this capacity building program, at least for the next 6 months? Which communities has he identified for this capacity building? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I think
You can bring
a substantive question on this.
on the list.
On the list, just the list. Because it takes time. He has to get back to the office. He has to get the agencies to compile the list for him.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the majority leader knows the rules. So I don't think he's responding to the question on behalf of the minister. The minister is well equipped enough to be able to respond. So, Mr. Speaker, you have the right to either rule out a question or otherwise. So the minister should be allowed to respond to this question.
Minister, are you minded to respond to it?
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I know we have engaged a lot of communities. I'll be happy to provide a list to the member.
Thank you. So we turn to question 459. Question 459. Honorable member for Nsawa Diajuri. Yes, Honorable John Darko.
Speaker, under the old protocol, if I may proceed to ask the question. So I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources how much the ministry forecast to generate from the Ghana Cocoa Forest Red Plus program by the end of 2025. Mr. Speaker, this question was asked in 2025, so I'm sure the Minister by now has the answer to that.
Honorable John Darko, just ask the question. So as to whether it was asked...
Yeah, but this was 2025. Speaker, Minister, I'm not done with the question, so I don't know how you are answering. No, I'm not done. Minister, on what basis are you answering the question when I'm not done?
Minister, hold on.
I'm not done answering the question, so what are you answering, Mr. Minister?
Honorable, just ask the question, please. Don't make any reference to it. Just read the question for us.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Thank you very much. So I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources how much the ministry forecast to generate from the Ghana Cocoa Forest Red Plus program by the end of the year 2025, and what plans are afoot for the expected revenue. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Respect for Honorable Minister.
Why are you afraid of questions?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Ghana Cocoa Forest Red Plus program, implemented under the Forest Carbon Partnership Facility, FCPF, Carbon Fund, is expected to generate up to $50 million in result-based payments from 2019 to 2024. Mr. Speaker, the revenue projections under the project are based on developing 4 monitoring reports for the following periods: 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. Each report, once developed, is validated and verified by a third party selected by the World Bank. So far, Ghana has developed the first 2 monitoring reports and received payments. The details are 2019, the equivalent payment was 4 million. 2020 to 2021 was 16 million. A total of 21,758,000 has been received. Mr. Speaker, the Forestry Commission has developed and submitted the 3rd monitoring report, which is for the period 2022 to 2023, for which the validation and verification by the World Bank's appointed third party is currently ongoing. After the satisfactory validation, Ghana is due to receive up to 18 million for reducing 3,708,000 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. Mr. Speaker, the last period for payment is based on the 2024 monitoring reports, which is yet to be prepared. Therefore, there's no revenue projections for 2025. Speaker, there are detailed breakdown that has been added to basically give more information to the honorable member. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable John Darko, do you have any supplementary question?
Yeah, Speaker, there will be no further question on this one.
Very well. So, honorable members, we turn to question 494. 494. It stands in the name of the same person, Honorable Frank Anodompre.
Thank you, Speaker. So I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources the government's comprehensive plan towards the development of the carbon credit market and the role of private entities in complementing Ghana's participation in the market.
Respectful Honorable Minister. John, can you put off your microphone? Yes, okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Ghana has put in place a clear and comprehensive plan to develop a credible and competitive carbon credit market. We have established a strong legal and institutional framework, including the new EPA Act 2025 Act 1124 and the Ghana Carbon Market Framework under Article 6.2 of the Paris Agreement, which guides authorization, registry operations, and international trading. We have also signed bilateral agreements with Switzerland, Singapore, and Sweden to open up new market opportunities for Ghanaian mitigation activities. So, Speaker, the role of the private sector in this effort is essential. They are allowed to develop voluntary carbon projects, serve as validators and verifiers, and mobilize investment and work directly with communities. In summary, Mr. Speaker, Ghana's carbon market is open, structured, and designed to attract responsible private participation while safeguarding national interest and ensuring benefit for our farmers and our communities. I thank you.
Yes, Honorable John Darko.
Speaker.
Well. Honorable members, let's turn to question 495. From Old Tafo, Honorable Vincent Ekwasafua. Yes, Honorable.
Speaker, thank you very much. Speaker, I have the permission of the Honorable Member Vincent Ekwasafua of Old Tafo to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources the details of the Black Volta Gold project. That is the acquisition by Engineers and Planners Company Limited. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Azuma Resource Ghana Limited, Upwest Resource Limited, and Finis Resource Ghana Limited were granted mining concessions collectively referred to as the Black Volta and Sankofa Projects 5. The companies procured a loan from investors in Singapore in Australia through their parent companies, which culminated in the execution of a project acquisition and development framework agreement among the parties. By an agreement dated 23rd of September 2025, Engineers Employment Company Limited entered into an innovation agreement with IGICPTE Limited of Singapore and Azuma Resources Limited Australia. Together, they were referred to as Iberia parties to settle all outstanding obligations owed by Azuma Resources Ghana Limited under the loan agreement for a consideration of $100 million United States dollars and a further $8 million US dollars. Consequently, the Iberia parties transferred and innovated to Engineers and Planners Company Limited all their rights and interests in Azuma Resources Ghana Limited, the owner of the Black Water and Sankofa Gold projects. Upon completion of the transactions, EMP Company Limited became the controlling party in Azuma Resource Limited, following approval of a no objection request from the Minerals Commission on the 3rd of November 2025. The company further assumed all associated liabilities, including taxes, change of control obligations, and indemnified the Iberia parties against any future claims arising from the transactions. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Jerry.
Honorable Minister, I was hoping to get, as part of your answer, the current ruling, the arbitration ruling from the UK. I don't know if you have averted your mind to that as well.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Honorable Speaker, I'm not aware of any ruling. I'm aware that EMP now has controlling interest of that resource. Thank you.
Very well. Yes. Yes, Honorable Jerry.
Speaker, I have no supplementary.
Very well. Yes, Honorable Dominic Nitiwu.
Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the Minister whether any part of that concession is part of what we call the Bui Dam area. The Black Volta enclave, is there any part of it that is part of the Bui Dam area? Yes.
No, that I know of.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, let me rephrase the question my colleague asked. I have two questions.
What?
No.
You are reframing your question.
Yeah, I'm asking a question, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask the Honorable Minister whether there is any international ruling on this case. Or I'm asking you whether there's any international ruling on this case and what is the implication for the agreement as it stands today. What is the implication for the agreement as it stands today?
Yes.
Our rules are clear that you cannot ask for a legal opinion. The question, no. When you say what is the implication, you're asking for an opinion. You're asking for an opinion. The question whether he knew about the legal issues and the ruling was asked, and he answered that he's not aware.
Yes.
Now you are asking him again whether he knows and what is the implication. That's a legal opinion you're asking him.
Very well. Yes. Minister, I'll give you the
Mr. Speaker, I have another question, but the majority leader is trying to protect the minister because I saw the minister trying to go and answer the question. But Mr. Minister, the reason I asked this question is very, very simple. You are the one protecting him.
Honorable Dominic.
He was trying to protect him.
Honorable Dominic, if you're asking the question, I'll give you the platform. But
Mr. Speaker,
Yusuf. Honorable Yusuf. Yes, Minister, let me hear you.
The rules are that I have the opportunity to ask two questions. And the Speaker asks, Mr. Speaker, you gave the Minister the opportunity to answer the question.
So, So
I still want the minister to answer my question. He can choose not to answer it.
Honorable Dominic.
You asked him to answer the question.
Honorable Dominic, that question is overruled. That question is
if it's overruled, I understand. The people of Ghana are watching us. So if it's overruled, I understand. If the minister does not want to answer, I understand. But minister, there is a ruling and there are implications, so take note.
Yes. So is Honorable Senator here? Yes, Honorable Frank. You may ask the question. So much. On question 740.
Yes, Speaker, I've been authorized by the member.
Yes, let's hear you.
Thank you so much. To ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, who owns the Efwa Sedland Children's Park. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. A search at the Lands Commission indicates that the site covering approximately 63 acres situated in Accra is covered by a certificate of... Please.
Mr. Speaker, when we started the question time, the majority leader said you should follow the rules. The member who asked the question, that question doesn't stand in his name, and he did not make any application to seek your leave or have an authorization.
Yes.
So, Mr. Speaker, he cannot ask that question.
Yes.
He cannot ask that question. That is not his question. He cannot ask that question. Mr. Speaker, he cannot ask the question. The question is not in your name, and you cannot ask that question without authorization. Is that your question?
Let me see the seat to the Right Honourable Speaker. I think he has a special assignment to do. So the question will continue. So, Honourable Frank Ajay, you may ask the question again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. I have done that earlier. To ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, who owns the Efwa Sedland Children's Park. Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, a search at the Lands Commission indicates that the site covering approximately 63 acres situated at Accra is covered by a certificate of allocation dated 13 November 1959 to the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Works and Housing, Horticultural Division, as sites for public parks and children playgrounds. Therefore, the land belongs to the state. Thank you.
Honourable members, may we suspend question time? We have some urgent business to transact, and then after that, we can come back to questions. Honourable members, we will move to item 8 on the order paper, statements. I want us to make one particular statement because there are some compelling reasons we can't do anything about. We have a statement in the name of Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan, whose statement is on the demise of the Royal Majesty Yana Abukari Mahama II. I'll give him the permission, and after that, depending on the guidance of leadership, we'll allow a few of you to make comments, because the delegation will have to catch up the flights to get back to Tamale this afternoon. So members should understand the situation. Please, if the honourable member is available, you may kindly make the statement now.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Statement by Honorable Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan on the demise of His Royal Majesty Yana Abukari Muhammad II. Mr. Speaker, it is with profound grief and a deep sense of loss that I rise today to pay tribute to a remarkable traditional ruler, a peacemaker, a statesman, and a father to the people of Dagbon, His Royal Majesty Yana Abukari Muhammad II, the overlord of the Dagbon Kingdom, who departed this life on the 11th of July, 2026. Mr. Speaker, the passing of Yana Abukari Muhammad II is not merely the loss of a traditional ruler. It is the passing of a symbol of reconciliation, resilience, and hope, whose reign ushered in a new era of peace after one of the most painful chapters in the history of the Dagbon Kingdom. Born in Myong in 1939, Yana Abukari Muhammad II was the second child of Yana Muhammad II and Queen Aishatu of Kolungpiao. Long before he ascended the revered skin of Dagbon, he lived a life rooted in the values of hard work and humility. He was a farmer who plowed his fields with bullocks under the scorching northern sun, tended cattle, and rode horses through Savelugu like many chiefs entrusted with the responsibility of caring for their people. His life exemplified the dignity of labor, and his simplicity endeared him to all who knew him. Mr. Speaker, history thrust him into national prominence at a defining moment for Dagbon and for Ghana. Following the tragic events of March 2002, the kingdom entered a prolonged period of uncertainty. For nearly 17 years, the revered skin of Yendi remained vacant. Funeral rites could not be performed, no successor could be installed, and the wounds of division between the Abudu and the Andani royal gates weighed heavily on the conscience of our nation. Many feared that peace would remain elusive. Yet, through the collective efforts of eminent chiefs, statesmen, the Committee of Eminent Chiefs, successive governments, and the people of Dagbon, a pathway to reconciliation emerged. When the kingmakers consulted the oracle in January 2019, 4 eminent princes were considered for the highest traditional office. Divine providence and tradition settled on Abukari Muhammad, then paramount chief of Savelugu. His enskinment, held from 25th to 27th of January 2019, was far more than the installation of a king. It represented the rebirth of Dagbon, the restoration of legitimate traditional authority, and the triumph of peace over conflict. The presence of the President of the Republic at the time, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, alongside distinguished traditional rulers and national leaders, underscored the significance of that historic occasion. Mr. Speaker, the late Yana Abukari Muhammad inherited not merely a throne, but a kingdom burdened by years of grief and mistrust. With remarkable wisdom, patience, humility, and quiet strength, he devoted his reign to healing old wounds and rebuilding confidence among his people. He became a father to both royal gates and a unifying figure whose authority transcended factional lines. His reign witnessed renewed stability in Dagbon, strengthened traditional institutions, and enhanced collaboration with government and development partners in advancing education, healthcare, agriculture, youth empowerment, and social cohesion. He consistently reminded his people that peace was indispensable for development and that unity remained Dagbong's greatest strength. The construction of the new Bewa Palace was his fundamental vision. His role extended far beyond being the occupant of the palace to an advocate of the project. Mr. Speaker, on the 16th of February 2025, he paid a historic visit to the Yagbong Wura, B. Kunotu Jawusole I at the Jakpa Palace in Damongu. This was a reciprocal visit following the Yagbong Wura's unprecedented visit to the Bewa Palace in Yendi in June 2024, the first of its kind. These visits further strengthened the long-existing relationships between the two kingdoms. His exemplary leadership and national recognition. In November 2025, the University for Development Studies conferred upon him a honorary doctorate in recognition of his immense contribution to peace building, traditional governance, and national development. It was a fitting acknowledgement of a leader whose greatest achievement was restoring hope where despair had long prevailed. Mr. Speaker, for a man who spent much of his life farming the land and serving his people with humility, Yana Abukari Muhammad II did not simply inherit a throne. He inherited a wounded kingdom and dedicated his reign to healing it. That enduring legacy will forever define his place in the history of Dagbong and Ghana. Today, as we mourn his passing, we also celebrate a life of exceptional service, wisdom, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to peace. His death marks the end of a reign that transformed one of Ghana's most enduring traditional conflicts into a compelling story of reconciliation and renewal. On behalf of the good people of the Yendi constituency, I extend my deepest condolences to the royal family, the Dagbong Traditional Council, the chiefs, and the people of Dagbong and the entire nation. Mr. Speaker, I respectfully urge this honorable House to honor the memory of His Royal Majesty Yana Abukari Muhammad II by reaffirming our collective commitment to preserving the peace, unity, and stability that he worked tirelessly to consolidate. There can be no greater tribute to his memory than ensuring that the harmony he restored remains the enduring inheritance of future generations. May the Almighty Allah forgive his shortcomings, reward his lifetime of service, grant him Jannatul Firdaus, and comfort the entire Dagbong Kingdom in this difficult moment. May the soul of His Royal Majesty Yana Abukari Muhammad II rest in perfect peace. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, before I permit comments to be made on the statement, may I, with your kind permission, acknowledge the presence of a high-powered delegation of the Bewa Palace and the Northern Regional House of Chiefs. They are present with us here, and they can be seen visibly at the gallery to my right. We have them pay a visit to me and your leaders and to formally inform us of the transition of His Majesty to glory. So please, on your behalf, I warmly welcome them to the House, even though they are today carriers of sad news. We will encourage them to find more time to come to us, but we'll do exactly what they have requested. And I'll now invite two from each side of the house, 1 from the back and 1 from the front. So leaders will decide which member from the back will speak for and on behalf of the caucuses. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I understand we have some constraints of time. We want our revered chiefs who are in the chamber with us Mr. Speaker, I understand the constraints of time, but given the personality whose tribute has been read, there appears to be a lot of pressure and demand for many to be given the opportunity to comment. So I propose, Mr. Speaker, that you lead in the, you are not supposed to participate in debate, but after commenting on a statement, traditionally Speaker has commented, so that our revered chiefs will observe the process, then we can start the commentary, and in 20 minutes time, because they have to catch a flight, they can leave, so that we can continue the comments, because our people across the country are watching us on television live, and so we can continue commenting even in their absence. I think that will provide a lot of opportunities for many of our colleagues to comment.
Honorable members, look, time is not a friend. You are all traditional people. After the old man has taken the bath, there will be no water left for any person in the household. So if you give me the opportunity and I speak, that is final. Nobody can make any comment. So please, I'll take guidance from what you said, and I'll say allow 1 from each side of the caucuses, 5 minutes each, and leaders 5 minutes each. I recognize the Minister of Education. I have sent word to him. Being one of the senior members here, and also coming from Dagbon, he's my son. I will allow him to make the statement on behalf of the majority side. And then on the minority side, I saw Honorable Habib stand up. I don't know whether you want to be the one or somebody else.
Mr. Speaker, if your guidance is one from our side and leadership, then the Member of Parliament for Gushegu will comment, and then I will conclude, and we can give opportunity to others after the chiefs take leave of us.
I say after that, there is no water. So you will not make any comment after that, not at the back of the chiefs. That will not be done. I am going to allow the member for Bunkrugu to make the statement for on behalf of the minority. And after that, we are moving on to other businesses. Bunkrugu. I was told Bunkrugu. Gushegu. Okay, we take Gushegu. Please, may I listen to the Minister for Education?
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity. And Mr. Speaker, also thank you profoundly for receiving the delegation of chiefs from the Dagbon Kingdom led by Nantona Muhammadu V, together with other traditional rulers across Dagbon, who formally came to inform Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and your good self about the passing of Ndanyana Abukari Mahama II,
which event, Mr. Speaker, happened. And Mr. Speaker, Yana Abukari II will go down in history as one of the great rulers of Dagbang. He was a very wise like Zanjina, and a very patient one, and was very consultative with persons with whom he administers the state of Dagbang. And Mr. Speaker, my tribute will be a short one. Let the person of Yana Abukari Mahama Nagarba unite Dagbang, and let it be an opportunity for the restoration of an enduring legacy of a roadmap, of a rotation of the succeeding Gates kings between Abudus and Andani, work to perfection. So, Mr. Speaker, I know the role you played in the 2002 era and the period. And Mr. Speaker, I should also acknowledge the forthrightness of Otumfuo Asantehene when he guided the roadmap, which eventually led to President Akufo-Addo and his government, continuing from President Mahama's initiative of the 3-member Dagbang Mediating Committee, which culminated in the installation of Yana Abukari II as the king of the Dagbang state. Mr. Speaker, Yana was 88 years, but there were many who saw him as a 60-year-old king because of the way he related to the common man. Mr. Speaker, Abukari did not like to delay matters which were brought before him for implementation. And one thing we remember Abukari II is that he had a retentive memory, and he remembered and narrated to the young men in the palace his skills in horse riding, and indicated that he was the best jockey in horse riding in Yendi in his youthful days. Mr. Speaker, as we mourn his passing, I should also recognize the role Excellency John Dramani Mahama played. He took this matter very, very personal when he was informed by Lawyer Ibrahim Mahama through me that Diana had been taken ill. President requested me to forward to him the first page of his biodata of his passport. Mr. Speaker, we encountered some difficulty momentarily because Pisholana, in whose possession the Yana's passport was not immediately available. I should acknowledge what the foreign minister did. He was accorded diplomatic status and flown and medically evacuated for critical medical care and attention. Mr. Speaker, Nazang Bamadana, I'm sure his amount, had to be sent to visit Yana and to give him support as a medical doctor. Mr. Speaker, I should also acknowledge the role our High Commissioner in South Africa played, particularly when things got worse and we had to repatriate his mortal remains for burial in accordance with Dagbang custom and Dagbang tradition. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude with a personal story which should define how Abudus and Andanis should coexist and why I think that the roadmap must work and it should work. And Mr. Speaker, many will be surprised. My grandfather's grave, Warbalana Abukara Bosu, is in the home of Honorable Tampule, Alimanyile in Yendi. And therefore, when I go to Yendi, culturally and traditionally, if I have white milk, I'll visit his home. Yet we may be divided politically. He sits to your left, I sit to your right. That is what it should be. So, Mr. Speaker, I end with a story. The Warbahu scheme became vacant, and I went in, my junior father had occupied.
Well, this is automated. It's not from speaker. And so please, it means that I have to direct the technical people to reset it. And then you want 1 minute? 1 minute. 1 minute, okay.
Mr. Speaker, I'll end with it. So I went asking for the vacant Warbago skin from Yana and then Yakubu. My relationship was very personal. I didn't get to win, and he gave Warbao to a different person. Then Jimli became vacant. Not Jimli, I'll get the name of the town, just around Jimli area, also became vacant. Tijo. And when, Mr. Speaker, I wasn't successful again. The next time I went and greeted him, I wasn't wearing a smiling face. So Yana Abukari looked at me and said, Mba Pradna, Bulaka Abona Ukawinyaka Jerusule. How many times have you come to ask for a skin? And just 2-3 times, you are wearing an unhappy face. Naborbe Jerusule. That if you are somebody seeking the good of the skin, and the skin
Honorable members, as we usually say, the rest is history. Yes, please, honorable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would have gladly yielded part of my time to my senior brother, whose senior brother is also in the public gallery, the chief of Lamashegu. Mr. Speaker, a lot will be said after here, so we can just put some small matters on record. Mr. Speaker, the late Yana Abukari II used to insist, anytime I visited him, that he was not my grandfather. I was not one of his grandchildren, I was his son. Anytime that I go to him, he can refer to everybody as his grandson, but I was his son. I didn't understand. So I had to go to my father to find out exactly what coded message His Majesty was giving to me. And I got to understand that prior to his father becoming the Yana in 1938, now Muhammad Kema became the Yana in 1938, he was the chief before, I believe, in Tampiang, which is close to my village where my grandfather used to be the chief of Limo. They had some relationship in there. And so the history, continued to put for himself. Mr. Speaker, prior to becoming the Yana, especially in the heated moment when the funeral of Yana Muhammadu Abdullah was performed, and we're preparing to do the funeral of Yana Yakubu Andani II, there was a little confusion about a certain building called the Duyili, which was one of the places that you needed to go to before the funeral can be performed. There was an insistence that if the house is not vacated, the funeral will not be performed. Mr. Speaker, it was a serious stalemate at the time. Yana, the late Yana, was at his place in Yendi. Midnight, myself and the former Minister for Finance and MP for Karaga paid him a visit. And Mr. Speaker, I'm saying this because we were intimately involved in the entire process right from the beginning to the end. So, Speaker, we went to him to find out from him as the head of family, what is this about the Doyili that without the yielding of that palace, the funeral cannot be performed? They said, my son, the funeral can be performed even with the current situation. So go ahead and push for the funeral to be performed. Mr. Speaker, we went to the Coroner's Palace, we were chased. We had to leave Yendi in helicopters and then run, through the forest to be able to leave Yendi. It was a heated moment, but that wise counsel that he gave to us at that moment was what we conveyed to the National Security Minister at the time, the CID, the BNI, and all of that, before the final processes were consummated, and eventually, as they say, the rest is history. Mr. Speaker, one legacy, or three legacies that we have to leave in memory of Yana Abukari II is one, for us to complete the palace the way it is. Secondly, to consummate the process of the amendment or review of the Dagbon Constitution of 1930. And number three, to also ensure that we'll have a very smooth transition from his time to the next Yana, so that we can consummate the unity and peace within Dagbon State. Mr. Speaker, I want to make a passionate appeal that in memory of Ndanyana Abukari II, we named the Tamale Teaching Hospital, TTH, after him. Mr. Speaker, he's been Yana for just 7 years, but it's as if he has been Yana for close to 40 years. The impact is incalculable. Mr. Speaker, to remind future generations what the Yana stood for, we need to do something like this for him. We need to pay compliments to His Excellency President John Ajay Kumkukvo, who set up the Council of Eminent Chiefs. We pay tributes to His Excellency Jonathan Mills, Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo, and Mr. Speaker, and the role that have been played by the eminent chiefs, the King of Mampurugu, the King of Gonja, and His Majesty Otunfo Osei-Tutu II. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable members, as I stated, they have to catch the plane. So please, leaders, be really apt. 5 minutes, you'll be timed off.
So, Mr. Speaker, if you may indulge me, I will just partially on order 63, so that I could speak Dagbani. I will give the bit of the interpretation on what I will say for Hansard to follow. Mr. Speaker, Dagban, we have lost a king. Ka na onyala na so ngunkane karshe so kam. Panya binya ninkurugu. De nyala ben shadan sheso kam zaha. Kat zaha suru nawuni, ne nawuni zomo na mbwa akazongo pae malaika sumazo. Alle ndan ya na ndra biane. O kandina konko nyala nangban yin kandina ko kana. Katle nkane kalan kan saha shale den tunu te zangla la ben man tu'i ka gbab tabvin yalanga kama alle onda biane o biagu kam o ramila nam darza on kumal shilyina ayan bangmene nawo na wonin shirzon otiti balentite otiyen di dare ka bangne naso ngun yina wo na wonne titi naso wo nyala naso ngun mala barka dozo de tunu Dagbang kama lawyer Haruna mene honorable Tampul ni yelma tinya nung shamko so palganya katazan nangban yinga gbab taba social din da dole ne rin tunu bu gbasham katito nye yana te dole kasu do biane kanangban yinga biane katite pi yana zar karnya yana so te zahani langdegi karka ajana akpale. Mr. Speaker, to wait, I'm just saying that re-echoing what the minister responsible for education and the member of parliament for Gushegu said, that the only thing we can leave behind for our Yana is unity. The roadmap that was agreed upon in getting a new Yana should be duly followed, so that at the end of the day, Ghanaians are watching the people of Dagbon, that we will get a Yana who will be accepted by all, a Yana who will be respected by all. The coming of our Yana for his installation after so many years of not having a Yana after 2002 incident was for unity and was for peace. And for that matter, I won't say much. I am from Tolong, a warrior of Dagbon, the chief warrior of Dagbon. I know my chief was very peaceful because there was never an occasion that he would call upon me that I should prepare that there is war, because he has his ways and means in which he resolves conflicts and resolves issues among people. So, Mr. Speaker, without much, I thank our chiefs. Na yabe nanton na yabe ku'na, na dachi nanton na bapre sa'nar na bezaha beza na dachi nyankpal lana. Mami, Nyankpala is one of the paramountcy among in my constituency, and he's among the chiefs that are visited. He has been very instrumental, and he's a peace maker in the constituency. So, Mr. Speaker, without much, I thank our chiefs for making time. Yesterday, I was with them when they visited the flag bearer and the next president, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, and I wish them a safe journey. Thank you.
Honorable members, please, I just indulge him because of the situation. If not, Rule 63(1) says that the proceedings of Parliament shall ordinarily be conducted in English, except that a member may exercise the option to address the House in a local language if facilities exist in the House for interpretation by the member or for contemporaneous interpretation. I indulge him because what he said in Dagbale is not what he translated in English. And so, please, I don't want members to take advantage of this and also repeat the abuse of the rule. Now, Majority Leader, you may have your say.
Mr. Speaker, I will yield to Honorable Yusuf. I want on my side the Gomba Gonja to pay tribute. So Yusuf will speak on behalf. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader, let me thank you for this opportunity. And let me also thank my brother for making this tribute. This is a time that we need to mourn, a time that we need to remember the contribution of our late king, the king of Dagbon, Ndayana Abubakar II. Several years after the death of a man, you will be remembered for the legacy that you have left behind. Our king was not just a king, but he was a pious Muslim. And so I say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, from whom we have come, and to him we shall all return. And so we are not surprised when the good Lord invited him. He's gone home, and we believe that he's resting in the bosom of his Lord because he has lived a life worth emulating. What are we going to remember about him? Right, Honorable Speaker, our dad, our father, our king was known to be a very peaceful leader, and his peaceful nature went beyond Dagbon. Indeed, in June this year, the overlord of the Gonja Traditional Council sent a word to him, asking that he should give him the opportunity to visit him. Indeed, within 1 week, he responded and created that opportunity for the two overlords to meet. Indeed, it had never happened. And so this is a legacy that he has left behind that I think that the kingdom of Dagbon and the kingdom of Gonja should be able to continue with this very important relationship that he has created for us. Mr. Speaker, he was a development-oriented leader. Indeed, myself and my minister went to him, and it was all about how to develop his kingdom. It was all about how to bring about job creation in his kingdom. And that, for me, really touched my heart. This was a king who was not talking about his selfish interests, but he was talking about the welfare of his people. And this is what all other chiefs and kings are supposed to emulate from this very important personality that we're talking about today. Mr. Speaker, go and see the palace that he's building, and you marveled. And this is a leader that Dagbon should be proud of. And the only way we can be proud of him is when we continue with the good things that he has started. His peaceful nature, we should go with it. The projects that he has started, we should be able to complete them, and then he can rest very well and say to us that where he started, we have helped him in ending very, very well. Mr. Speaker, our king was also somebody who was not vindictive. He was somebody that could forgive. And when the Minister of Education was talking, he alluded to the fact that even when he went there with a very, as it were, unpleasant face, he didn't continue with also becoming annoying with him. What he did was to correct him and to say that, look, if you are seeking for something, you always have to wear a shining face. Indeed, our king will be remembered. And at this point, we want to call on all Ghanaians to join hands with us to mourn him and give him the respect that he deserves. I thank you for your ears. God bless you.
Honorable members, the transition of His Royal Majesty Diana from mortality to eternity is a national loss. And so I want to plead with you for us to observe a minute's silence in memory of his departure. One minute silence, please. Honorable members, may his gentle, peaceful soul and the souls of all the faithful departed rest in perfect peace. Amen. I will, on your behalf, extend our deepest condolences to the royal family, the Dagbon Traditional Council, the chiefs and people of Dagbon, and the entire nation. I have taken note of the concerns raised by members and will get a date to celebrate and commemorate his departure. This is to give the House the opportunity to have on record so that future generations will not be dependent on oral tradition. It will be on record in the official reports of the House as to who he was, the journey he traveled, the legacy he left, and a bit about one of the most enduring and longest kingdoms in our country, the Dagbon Kingdom, which is part of the Mule, Mamprugu, Dagbon, Nanum ethnic group. So, honorable members, I thank you for your indulgence, and on your behalf, I will permit the high-level delegation to depart to catch their flight to Tamale. Please, you have your traveling mercies. We now move on to continue with the questions, and the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources was on board. And so we'll now give the permission for the supplementary questions to be asked. May I invite the person who asked the original question if he had any supplementary? Yes, you have.
Thank you, Speaker. The answers have been so satisfactory. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honourable Member. Then we'll proceed to the next question. And that question stands in the name of the same person. Is it Honourable Dr. Zenator Ajiman Rawlings? So you are asking the questions on her behalf?
Yes, please, Speaker. I have her authority.
You may go on.
Thank you, Speaker. To ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, who owns the lands at the CMB Abuja Market. Thank you.
What did you say? Abuja Market?
Yes, please, Speaker.
Abuja Market.
CMB Abuja Market. CMB stroke Abuja Market. Thank you.
Do you know the meaning of Abuja?
Speaker, not as much as you do.
Abuja means Abu, red. Yes, the name Abu, red. Abu, red. That's the meaning of Abuja. You've been calling people red, red, red. Yes, the man who started the city now called Abuja was called Abu, and he was red. So Abu red, that's Abuja. I've earned it. So when I'm on retirement, you will continue to pay me. Yes, so Minister, you may answer the question.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Speaker, the site is covered by a certificate of title numbered 1830, dated 28 March 1913, for railway station. The land therefore belongs to the Ghana Railway Company. Thank you.
Any supplementary question?
No, Speaker, except to thank the Minister.
Thank you so much. We now move to question number 741. Stands in the name of Honourable Akwasi Kunedu, the Member of Parliament for Manshia North. Honourable Member, you may do so now.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources what immediate steps and decisive measures the Ministry is taking to stop Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies from issuing permits, receipts and authorizations for the operation of excavators, chamfine, and other mining equipment in mining district, which has become a major conduit for illegal mining activities, environmental destruction and pollution of our major river bodies. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. The Ministry has not received any formal report of MMDAs issuing permits, receipts, and authorization for the operation of excavators, chamfans, other mining equipment in mining districts. However, Mr. Speaker, a person intending to use earth-moving equipment or mining equipment for a mineral operation must first register with the Minerals Commission as a mine support service provider to a holder of a mining right in accordance with Regulation 1 of the Minerals and Mining Support Service Regulation LI 2174. In addition, Regulation 3 of the Mineral Mining Regulation, Mineral Operation Tracking of Earth Moving and Mining Equipment LI 2404 requires that such equipment be registered with the Minerals Commission and that the requisite mining permit be obtained before the equipment is operated. Also, Regulation 8 of the Minerals and Mining Health, Safety and Technical Regulations LI 2182 requires a holder of a mining lease to obtain a mining operating permit from the Inspectorate Division of the Minerals Commission. It is only after satisfying these requirements that a person has a legal basis to operate such equipment within the mining sector. Any person who operates such equipment without the requisite permit commits an offense under Section 99(7) and 99(8) of the Minerals Mining Act, Act 703, as amended under Act 995/2019. To this end, the Minerals Commission, working with other agencies, continues to enforce these regulations and requirements and engage MMDAs to ensure that permits, receipts, and authorizations relating to mining operations and equipment are not issued to any company before the Commission grants the requisite permit. This measure is intended to strengthen regulatory oversight and prevent the unauthorized use of mining equipment. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Right Honourable Speaker, thank you very much. Just one, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Minister says they have not received any formal report. But however, Mr. Speaker, on the 2nd of March 2026, the spokesperson for the ministry, speaking to Joy FM of a documentary that they aired as tax for Galamsey, said this as the spokesperson for the ministry, that investigation into this documentary and the evidence provided is near completion. So, Mr. Speaker, it comes to me as a surprise that the spokesperson of the ministry, as at March, will say that investigation into that is near completion, and today in July, we are being told they've not received any. But however, on the 11th of November, 2025, Mr. Speaker, also in the Upper West Dincha municipality, there were evidence of stickers on tractors, champagnes, and the rest that has been issued by the Assembly. So will the minister be candid enough to tell us that investigation, if not, he has not received, but only heard, go into these matters and the evidence that's provided to him, so that at least we can have a finality to that?
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Any violations of these regulations that I've laid out are very serious offenses, and I will be the first to take the necessary action. I'll be happy to get whatever information the honourable member have, footages and statements, and I have my team who will follow up and make sure the right things are done. I thank you.
Yes, honourable member, any further supplementary?
No, Mr. Speaker, but I will yield the information to him as he has requested, so that we can have these matters resolved.
We are extremely grateful. Honourable members, let's take the next question. And the question is question 742, stands in the name of Honourable Apostle Daniel Keshi Besi, the Honourable Member of Parliament for Sege. Please, Honourable Member, you may do so now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources what stance the government is taking on the ongoing dispute between Electrochem Ghana Limited and the residents of Sege constituency on the Songo Lagoon.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. To promote dialogue, the government through the Minerals Commission is continuously engaging key stakeholders, including the District Assembly, traditional authorities, opinion leaders, and reps of the Sege constituency regarding the activities of the Adasago Lagoon. I will continue to do so.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, I want to further find out from the Minister how soon will these engagements be?
Honourable Speaker, I can assure the Honourable Member, as a very key stakeholder, I'll be happy to engage him and then facilitate an engagement to bring about a peaceful coexistence among the community and the company.
Honourable Member, I thought the Minister says the engagement was continuing. And I recall a committee of this House also had the opportunity to inquire into this matter. A report was submitted in this House, and I directed a number of committees to follow up on the matter continuously. And so I'm surprised that you are limiting it now to the minister. I think it is this parliament, this 9th parliament, or was it the 8th? The 8th parliament. And so maybe that is why the 8th parliament, it came here for dilation, and I directed a number of committees of the House to continuously engage the communities in this matter because of the importance, the national importance of the matter you've raised. But please, if there is the need for us to revisit the subject matter, you are encouraged to bring up any of our instruments for us to engage again, and I can renew the directive because this is a very important national issue. But you may continue with your supplementary questions, and then later on consider my advice. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, I think at this point I will yield to your advice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, the last question is from the Honorable Member for Tatale Sanguli constituency, Honorable Intebe Awu William. That's question 804. Honorable Member, you may do so now.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to ask the Minister for Land and Natural Resources the plans the ministry has for the iron ore deposit at Sini in the Tatale Sanguli district.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. The Shini iron ore deposit is widely recognized as the largest known iron ore deposit in Ghana and one of the most significant iron ore resources in West Africa. Historical exploration and subsequent technical studies have confirmed substantial magnetic resources, positioning the deposit as a strategic asset for the development of an integrated iron and steel industry in Ghana. The government is going through processes to identify prospective investors to develop the mine. The development of the Shini iron ore deposit remains a key national priority and is expected to play a pivotal role in supporting Ghana's iron and steel industry, creating employment opportunities, stimulating infrastructure development, and contributing to economic growth. And we will continue as a ministry to pursue this. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. I want to know from the Minister, there are two contractors there working since 2011. But can the Minister brief us on their project?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Before this question, I had engaged the Minerals Commission and GISDEC on the performances of these companies you've mentioned. And we are currently evaluating their performance to try to make sure we take decisive decisions to get the right people in these places. I thank you.
Actually, I got lost because I don't know where contractors came in into this matter. The question did not talk about contractors. The answer never mentioned contractors. Now, you talked about two contractors being on the site. And so, you see, I didn't invite the minister, but he just came and offered some information.
He meant a leaseholder in that area.
Leaseholder?
He was a leaseholder, not a contractor, and was talking about how long they've been there and whether or not they performed. And I was trying to say that we are evaluating that and we'll deal with this.
Yes, even that there is no link, because we should have given some foundation about a lease being granted to somebody and they are on site, whether he's aware, and if so, what is the progress of work. Anyway, you have your last opportunity if you want to give another supplementary question. Yes, Honorable Member.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker. And the contracting is Cathedral Resources and Imaland Resources. But were they exploring or they were mining? We don't know what they're doing. Can the minister brief us of their papers over there?
May you repeat your supplementary question again?
There are two contractors over there. I don't know whether they were exploring or they were mining. So can the minister brief us and we know whether they were mining or they were doing the exploration work? Exploration work.
You see, that's why initially I raised the issue. There's vast difference between contractor and a leaseholder. There's vast difference between a contractor on site and then a leaseholder. And so the question and the answer, the original question and the answer, one cannot decipher any connection to a contractor and a leaseholder. But if the minister, you have any information with regard to what he's talking about, please, you may share with us.
My earlier answer was that we are assessing the leaseholder who had a prospecting license, and we are going to really make a decision on whether they continue. So those exploration licenses that we're given. And so as I said, we are going to assess how many years they've been there and their performance, and a decision will be made on this area so that we can get the right people to do the exploration so that we can really assess the benefits. Thank you.
Honorable members, with this, we've come to the end of question time, and we'll move on to the next item. But before we do so, I have a very important statement to make. I'll just read it now, take the next item, and I'll be calling on the second Deputy Speaker to take over from me. With this, with your kind permission, I will discharge the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. We are extremely grateful for your attendance and the answers you've offered. Thank you so much for coming. Honorable members, this statement is on the directive on the use of police resources, police escort services, and the installation and use of sirens on vehicles. Honorable members, kindly indulge me to make a brief statement on a matter concerning the responsible use of state security resources and compliance with the law. The Office of the Speaker has received a communication from the Honorable Minister for the Interior conveying a directive on the use of police resources, particularly police escort services, and the installation and use of sirens on vehicles. The communication requests that the directive be brought to the attention of honorable members of Parliament and the Parliamentary Service. Honorable members, according to the communication, Cabinet, in compliance with existing law, has requested, among other things, that no person shall install or use a siren on any official or private vehicle without the prior written authorization of the minister responsible for the interior. Similarly, no person is to utilize police resources, particularly police escort services, without the requisite written authorization of the Minister for the Interior or the Inspector General of Police acting on behalf of the Minister. The communication further indicates that the Ghana Police Service has been directed to enforce the directive, including the removal and seizure of unauthorized sirens, the discontinuance of unauthorized police escort services, and the institution of appropriate legal action where necessary. Honorable members, the efficient, accountable, and lawful utilization of public resources is a matter of legitimate national interest. The Ghana Police Service performs officially critical constitutional functions relating to the maintenance of law and order, the protection of life and property, and the preservation of public safety. Its personnel and resources are national assets, which must be deployed judiciously, equitably, and strictly in accordance with law. Similarly, the indiscriminate installation and use of sirens undermines road safety, weakens public confidence in lawful authority, and diminishes the effectiveness of emergency and security services whose operations genuinely require priority access. Parliament has consistently enacted legislation intended to promote accountability, transparency, and the prudent management of public resources. As lawmakers and representatives of the people, we bear an even greater obligation to demonstrate fidelity to the laws that we enact, and to uphold the highest standards of public conduct. Accordingly, I encourage all members to take note of the contents of the directive and to ensure that in the use of police resources, police escort services, and sirens, members act at all times in accordance with the Constitution, the laws of Ghana, and all lawful administrative requirements. I encourage honorable members who may require clarification regarding the application of the directive in particular circumstances to seek the appropriate guidance through the established institutional channels for compliance in accordance with law. Honorable members, the Office of the Speaker will continue to engage constructively with the Executive, the Ghana Police Service, and all relevant state institutions on matters affecting security operations, the privileges of members of Parliament, and the independence of Parliament, always with a view to strengthening our democratic institutions and advancing the public interest. I thank you all for your attention. Please, Second Deputy Speaker, to take the chair. But we may now proceed to the statements that are itemized on the order paper, unless otherwise requested by the leadership. We'll go to item 8, statements 8, Roman 1. A statement standing in the name of Honorable Dr. Stephen Amwa, the Member of Parliament for Inshiaso. Please, Honorable Member, you may do so now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, I am extremely thankful to you for according me this illustrious opportunity to present a statement on the need to basically shift from a free market economy to a mixed market economy as a sovereign country. The call for this new paradigm shift has been necessitated generally by decades of high cost of living and low standard of living, which have been holding up the expected utility and satisfaction of the citizenry. Indeed, the aforementioned factors have been tempering expectations of an immediate economic turnaround. There are many fundamental anomalies and strategic policy drift that need to be reviewed. One of such is the free market economic system in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, there are three categories of market economy. These are controlled market economy, free market economy, and mixed market economy. I would like to throw light on each of them, Mr. Speaker. In a controlled market economy, products availability, distribution, and pricing are at the discretion of the government. Basically, absolute controlled market economy has become an obsolete economic policy, especially among the first-class developed and democratic economies. It opposes free market economy, and restricts private sector integration in such financial economic transactions. Mr. Speaker, opposite to the controlled market economy is a free market economy. Here, production of goods and services are determined dynamically by the market forces, that is supply and demand, without any state interventions. Prices are determined by the private sectors in the ecosystem precisely between sellers or producers and buyers or final consumers. Pricing mechanism, as well as means of production, resources, and supply chains are exclusively owned and controlled by the private sector. The fundamental role of the state is almost completely restricted. Its good side includes entrenchment of the individual's right to determine and own property, which in itself is good. However, there are so many setbacks associated with it. An ecosystem such as ours, in which business actors are predominantly profiteering just like others on the globe, absolute free market economy will rather do us more economic harm than good. This is profoundly manifested in situations such as monopoly, oligopoly, and cartel. That's right. Monopoly is where only one person or one corporation remains the main source of supply of a particular product. This can really have adverse impact on the economy of Ghana, especially when such products are regularly and highly in demand. Mr. Speaker, oligopoly involves mainly two main suppliers, and cartel is when just a few suppliers are involved in the entire value chain. In the aforementioned factors, the suppliers or producers restrict supply just to create artificial scarcity on the market and accordingly quote outrageous prices. Mr. Speaker, the interconnectedness of these profiteering economic practices deeply gives rise to economic ripple effect in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, in summary, the resultant effects include high cost of living, low standard of living, negative impact on most of the essential goods, and then hamper the redistribution policies required in any sustainable economy. It is riskier even when such practices, Mr. Speaker, confront the demand and supply of medicines and nutritional substances on our market. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's present market economic system is purely and practically the free type. It deepens the dysfunctional profiteering nature of our market actors and thereby affect the citizenry. Besides, it contributes enormously towards the lag period between Ghana's economic performance and its expected impact on the cost of living as well as standard of living of Ghanaians, apart from the main economic factor that our market is majorly a defensive type. A mixed market economic system, however, effectively combines the functional elements of both controlled and free market economies, purposely to attain the expected optimal socioeconomic output, harmonize stakeholder interest, restrict financial disparity, and then support widespread access to necessities and resources. Mr. Speaker, I would like to bring to your attention that most modern economies have adopted and have been operating mixed market economies, especially United Kingdom, United States of America, and Germany. Mr. Speaker, I am proposing a mixed market economic system framework that will deal with or mitigate the adverse impact of the absolute free market economic system in Ghana. I suggest that the relevant committees in Parliament should further look into it and, if possible, advise the appropriate body for the necessary steps to be taken, either a new bill or a specific policy framework, and that is by the executive, and make sure they realize the policy shift that I am calling for. A price cap law or policy can be introduced to deal with the exorbitant charges by monopolies, oligopolies, and cartels in our existing market economic system, which inimically impacting cost and standard of living in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, please permit me to introduce a few, but not only, other economic fundamental policies that need executive stroke or legislative attention. Mr. Speaker, these include inflationary targeted monetary policy, fiscal anchors, fiscal targets, and our conventional approach to dealing with the exchange rate volatility in Ghana's economic system. Mr. Speaker, once again, I thank your most noble outfit for allowing this very critical and timely statement to be presented in this August House. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Ataiza. Kentampo, are you up on your feet? Okay, let's hear you.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this statement ably made by Dr. Stephen Amwa, my good friend, a former Deputy Minister of Finance, and calling for us to move to a mixed economy rather than free market economy. Rightly so, Mr. Speaker, I support this call in the sense that the free market system, as he exemplified in this statement, is a market system where demand and supply play their role to fix the prices of goods and services. And that is what has been happening. If we relate our economic system to Germany, US, UK, and the developed nations, we go there and we come to say the government of UK owns a lot of facilities by way of the rail system. Talk about the Germans, the government owns the rail system, the transport system, even infrastructure by way of accommodation. But when we come to Africa, the issue is different. How is government going to make a lot of money if it is the private sector that owes some of these facilities? In our case, we have left some of these things to the private developers who are charging millions of dollars. Call it the East Legon area, call it Tema zone, call it whatever American house area. You cannot ask of a price of a house where it is not quoted in dollars. If these things or these sort of facilities are owned by the state, Mr. Speaker, we will not be buying houses or renting houses in dollars, but it will be in our Ghanaian cedis, and government will be making money. Definitely not high cost or astronomical prices such as the private sector will be quoting, but government would have been roping in a lot of money. Mr. Speaker, if you go to Germany, most of the houses are owned by the states. Only few private people are given the opportunity. Before you even get the land, they allocate the land to you as a private person. Mr. Speaker, it's so expensive. So government has intentionally made it a priority to own most of the accommodation, and so you have to rent it, and the income then goes to government because they have no gold, they have no any other minerals, but they rely on some of these things. The rail system, very effective. The bus system, very effective. And so is France. So in that case, while the private sector is given the opportunity to have certain grocery shops where you just go for just mini shopping, soap, and what have you, biscuits and other things, those things are given to the private sector, to which at the end of the day is giving us the mixed economic sort of structure he's asking for. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I think we should give this a necessary hearing and let government go into this and then owe the major things to reap in more income if we want to develop. I'm grateful.
Well, from Kintampo, let's move up to Walwale.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes,
Mr. Speaker, let me comment one of the most brilliant finance people we have in the country for making such what appears to be academic, yes, yet mind-intriguing statement. Mr. Speaker, I said it appears academic yet mind-intriguing because the maker of the statement has sent us back to the classroom and then academic discourse with which he presented the paper. But Mr. Speaker, we would like to bring the matter home and simplify it so that we will appreciate the depth, we will appreciate the relevance, we will appreciate the policy cogence of that particular statement he has made. Mr. Speaker, the maker of the statement has drawn our attention to three major types of market systems. He talked about the control market system, the mixed market system, and then the free market system. Mr. Speaker, the market system is basically your economy, how the economy is run. Is it going to be determined by the forces in the market, or as invisible hand somewhere is going to determine how prices and goods are priced and marketed, or sometimes a mixture of the two? This is basically what he has said. Mr. Speaker, we complain about high cost of living. If the market fails and there is production, and there is no demand to commensurate with the production, prices would fall, but the producer would not have incentive to produce. So there's going to be a mismatch between supply and demand. And when that mismatch is there, production in the long run will diminish. So the maker of the statement is telling us that if you have a situation where prices are too low, it's going to be disincentive to production. It's again telling us if prices are too high, it's going to affect cost of living. What do we then do under such a situation, Mr. Speaker? And that is why he's drawn our attention for the need for us to, have a mixture. The contributor to the motion mentioned about the fact that why do we have to allow the private sector to control certain ends of the market? Mr. Speaker, as a country, have we been able to determine the basic necessity of the people and to be able to say that we are going to price them in social optimal manner? In other words, we want to let the government determine at which point the government should intervene. Because if you allow electricity to be priced in the market fashion is going to affect production because prices of electricity or utility is going to be high. If you allow water to be priced at market rate or determined by the market, people cannot afford because water is a basic necessity. So he's drawing our attention to the fact that let's have a mixture. Mr. Speaker, and now let's even go to history. Ghana experimented one of what we call the fixed exchange rate system. Mr. Speaker, that is a control market intervention where you have a board setting the price, pegging the dollar to the cedi. Mr. Speaker, but that also has its negatives. The negative of such is that you don't have real value of your currency. In other words, your currency is not able to stand in this, in fact, productivity in the basis of that particular artificial setting of the rate is going to affect your country. So that is why we need to have a mixture. And I totally agree with Mr. Speaker, with the maker of statement that a mixed system, but that mixture is has to be determined by a collaborative society, because you cannot determine at what point will the government intervene and at what point should the government allow the market to determine. That discussion, I believe the maker of the statement is only brushing the discussion today for us to start. In the fullness of time, Mr. Speaker, I think that with opportunity and with the new patriotic party in government, we'll be able to extend this government, we'll be able to extend this conversation in a manner that we will realize the ideals of the maker of the statement. With this view, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes. Why is it that everybody is mentioning your name, Atta? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. And we would like to thank the maker of the statement for sharing with us the need for a mixed economy for the country. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the statement, a lot of the issues he had mentioned are basically economics 101. Inflation, production, and the like. But Mr. Speaker, you realize that the whole constitution of Ghana basically is based on the mixed economy. If you also take the philosophy of the MPP, property owning democracy, it's also based on the mixed economy. And Mr. Speaker, I'll give you some few examples. If you take the national health insurance, the drug list has been based on virtually a fixed price by government, trying to balance the costs on the market itself, the free market itself, and the cost that the Ghanaian can pay for. Mr. Speaker, if we take the determination of water in this country, before the utilities price, they take it to PRC, and the PRC will moderate it so that it does not fully affect the living standards of our people. Mr. Speaker, if we take a country like China, today they call themselves capitalists with Chinese characteristics, and they put so much energy in state capitalism, even though they've also allowed the private sector to also grow. So I believe that in determining and practicing the mixed economy, one of the key issues as a country we need to be looking at is the issue of productivity. Mr. Speaker, I believe that the issue of productivity has been missing from our conversation for a very long time. And I believe that that is one area we need to look at. Mr. Speaker, even if we take Parliament, until recently that the Economic Committee came up, where they are looking at the kind of deliveries we are giving to the ordinary Ghanaians. We used to always talk about only Public Accounts Committee, which is always after the effect. And I believe that these are some of the reasons why we've not been able to hold public and the policymakers accountable for making sure that the mixed economy, our constitution, opens up for us to practice, to be practiced. Mr. Speaker, one of the key issues that we need to understand is that the free economy, for the time being as Ghanaians, cannot be able to survive it. That is why it is very, very important that as a country, we look at as a mix, where individuals and the private sector and government can interplay such that we can moderate prices and also moderate the living standards that we have in this country. So, Mr. Speaker, the call for a mixed economy instead of allowing the free market to just operate is very appropriate. And I believe that where the market fails, the government should always be ready to intervene to make sure the right things are done. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, we thank you for the opportunity to add our voice to the statements.
Yes. Now, leadership. Leadership. Yes. Minority leader.
Speaker, I need to commend the maker of the statement, Honorable Dr. Stephen Amwa of Inshiaso, for his industry, which industry has resulted in this two-page statement inviting this House to toast a mixed market economic policy. Mr. Speaker, in theory, I agree with him. But practically, I have some difficulty. Mr. Speaker, a mixed economy, as he stated, we should allow free market variables and determinants to drive the economy, whereas the state would have some guardrails to intervene as and when is necessary. Mr. Speaker, this is not a new initiative. If you study the Kwame Nkrumah economic policy, which was launched right after independence, where the states made a lot of commercial investment, all through to Buzier's era. Then you get to Achampong, General Kutu Achampong, the era where he said, Operation Feed Yourself, Feed Your Industry. Again, there were signs of the policy, the economic policies has semblance of a mixed market economy. However, Mr. Speaker, we all know what happened to our economy, to the extent that the PNDC regime was compelled to now diversify state interests in certain key commercial ventures. Mr. Speaker, the Fourth Republic itself has had political leaders with great ambition introducing certain economic policies with strong state interests aimed at balancing the equation so that some of these state-controlled commercial interests will create jobs, will create the opportunity for economic growth. But, Mr. Speaker, for us as a country to succeed in successfully implementing this, for us to succeed in implementing this policy, Mr. Speaker, we need attitudinal change. We and our people must change our attitude and our approach. I am aware of many businesses that benefited from state
capital injection into their businesses. And because these were capital from the state, they decided not to pay, and they did so with impunity. And there was no power to punish. Speaker, you may have to extend. Yeah, you inform the IT people to extend. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we introduce, and here, Mr. Speaker, I'm not doing any politics, and my colleagues opposite should bear with me. When SADA was introduced, perhaps was to enabling environment.
Please give him extra 5 minutes, please.
Speaker, extra 5? No.
Please. Please, can you extend it?
Mr. Speaker, and when SADA was introduced, some people thought perhaps it was state-owned. They abused it. Mr. Speaker, before SADA, Rawlings's era, some intervention to support businesses with capital, they didn't pay. Kufuor introduced Maslock. Some people took advantage. They didn't pay. It got to Professor Mills. They didn't pay. JM #1, they didn't pay. Akufo-Addo #1, Maslock, they didn't pay. Recently, I had to cough some 400,000 Ghana cedis to pay for some Maslock loan. When the Maslock reached out to those beneficiaries, they said their MP will pay. If I didn't have the means, what would have happened? So, Mr. Speaker, I am very careful in suggesting a mixed economic policy where the state would put aside some funds for the purposes of intervening. If we want to be successful in this, then we need to reorient our people. Mr. Speaker, we are talking about challenges in our economy, but what we forget is that the very capital that, Mr. Speaker, we are chasing, we call for investment from abroad. The money is here, but we abuse it. Somebody may be a contractor, a businessman. When government pays him, instead of going back to side, he transfers the money abroad. And we say we don't know. We know. So, Dr. Stephen Amwa has made a very patriotic call. But we cannot place that call on nothing. And we as political leaders, with the privilege of being in this chamber, must begin to talk about judicious use of state resources. If the state, like this recent in Kukon Ketenkete, we all talked about it, we did politics with it. But it is very sad that an initiative aimed at empowering you economically, then you go and kill the bears, eat them, then you go and tell the minister that Mediaye chicken line soup. So that money that the state voted for economic empowerment is gone. Mr. Speaker, it's gone. It's a very serious matter. But time and again, we are invited to use state resources to create economic empowerment, to create business opportunities. But why should it run into debt? You go to Ghana Water, you go to ECG, you go to Ghana Gas,
count them. So, Mr. Speaker, without proper orientation, where citizens would understand that if there is some level of state intervention, it is to empower you and you must pay back. Without that orientation, Mr. Speaker, I am not an economist, but I would propose that government must free the space and rather encourage competition and minimize its intervention, because it ends up being a waste. And we as political leaders, we play political football with it. And when power change hands, it's the same thing, because no reforms. So let us, Mr. Speaker, take this call as a patriotic call and perhaps use that as a springboard to initiate some conversation. Because if the proper orientation is there, Mr. Speaker, the mixed market economy, free enterprise, state intervention, state being an enabler, that helps. In Europe, the Western world, Mr. Speaker, that is what has helped them. Let me perhaps conclude with a short story of a business friend. Mr. Speaker,
please give him the last 5 minutes, please.
Mr. Speaker, I was in Alicante. I was doing agro-textile business with a business partner. And in Alicante, this factory that manufactures agro-textiles, the man I was sitting with shared a story that, Mr. Speaker, his great-grandfather got a loan from the Spanish government, and they have managed this business for over 100 years. The great-grandfather did it, it got to his grandfather, and it's now his turn. They were 4 as a family, and he took up responsibility of managing the family business. It was the state intervention that propelled them into the private sector. So there's always a need for some level of state intervention to get you going. Great economies have done that. But in our part of the world, Mr. Speaker, when that is given, it is seen as a freebie. That is our problem as a country. Economic investment that are made, turn out into becoming consumption. So the man is dead, the business must fail. Then we forget about the capital, where it's coming from, SNIT. All the SNIT investment that have failed. There was a big hotel somewhere in Central Region, I don't want to mention the name, somewhere in Central Region, close to my constituency. SNIT invested millions. The man died. Today when you go there, it's an eyesore. Why must we do this to ourselves? Give Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. They've given loans to people. They won't pay. Why? And they are working in the country. Sometimes they go to church thanking God. Thanking God for what? And we, the political leaders who are supposed to hold them to account, we play political football with this, but we forget that when the unemployment situation gets worse and it becomes a national security challenge, it threatens the very foundation of this democracy. So, Dr. Stephen Amwa, I would want to thank you for this statement, provided as leaders we begin to face the reality and educate our people, talk to them, change our attitude. I believe if we do that, his proposal will go a long way to help our country. Mr. Speaker, that said, and without more, let me thank you.
Thank you very much. We will take the second statement, the second and the last one from yes, leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the second statement is the member in the chamber. Is the member in the chamber?
Fanti Akonov? Is Fanti Akonov here?
Yes.
I think it's check out. He was here.
Yeah, so you see, some statements have political significance in the maker's constituency. So if the maker is not there, you let somebody make the statement, it might end up rather hurting the member. So I propose that we defer, and when the member is in the chamber, because it is constituency specific, it's about tourism in that member's constituency. So let's defer, and then later on, maybe tomorrow or tomorrow next, when the member is in the chamber, then the member will make the statement.
Very well.
So, Mr. Speaker, we can proceed. Where's the addendum? It's not yet ready. Yeah, so some committees have their motions for the adoption of their reports, and so we can take them. I want to know if, which one? Lance, you are ready? Okay, which motion numbers?
Which motion?
Motion number what? So correct it. Which motion? Which motion? 17. So we'll take motion number 17.
So, honorable members, before I invite you to page 10, item 17, we have the last school at the public gallery I would like to acknowledge. Takwa Catholic Basic School. Takwa Catholic Basic School. Takwa Catholic Basic School. Their leader is Obed Ifa Roberts, who is a teacher. And the school, the school is located in Takwa or Gomwa West? It's Gomwa West. Very well. So the school is located in the Gomwa West constituency, and I'm told your number is 60. You are welcome, and we wish you a pleasant stay in Parliament. So you may resume your seat. Honourable members, item 17, motion by the chairman of the committee. Yes, Chairman. Please, can you put off that microphone for me? Madam Gizera. Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to move the motion on the order paper for today, motion number 17. That notwithstanding the provision of Order 1041 of the Standing Orders, which requires that a motion shall not be debated until at least 2 sitting days have elapsed after the notice to move the motion, giving the motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee of Lands and Natural Resources on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Minerals Commission for the year 2024
may be moved today.
Yes. This is procedural. Who is seconding it?
Mr. Speaker, I beg to second the motion.
Honourable members, the motion has been moved and has been seconded. And since it's procedural, I'll ask the question. As many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. All those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Yes, Chairman. 18.
Thank you once again for allowing me to move the motion number 18, that this Honorable House adopt the report of the Committee on Lands and Natural Resources on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Minerals Commission for the year 2024. And, Mr. Speaker, by so doing, I present the committee's report by highlighting the key issues, but call on the table office to capture it as having been fully read. Mr. Speaker, the referral was made to the committee, and the committee considered it. And the key issues that was identified was that the Audit Committee report highlighted several matters relating to financial accountability, payroll administration, procurement, management, contract administration, and budget performance, statutory compliance, and the implementation of recommendations from the Audit Committee report. Mr. Speaker, the committee noted that there were no referrals from the Public Accounts Committee and an internal monitoring unit. It again noted that while management had implemented a significant proportion of the recommendations made by the internal audit, some issues continue to reoccur across multiple reporting periods, indicating the need for stronger preventive controls and enhanced management oversight. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, the committee acknowledged the efforts of the Minerals Commission in implementing a substantial number of the audit recommendations during the 2024 financial year. The committee notes the progress made in strengthening internal controls, improving accountability, and addressing deficiencies identified through internal audit reviews. Notwithstanding these achievements, recurring weaknesses relating to unsupported disbursement, non-compliance with GIFMIX and GANEF's requirement, contract management, and financial reporting indicate that further reforms are necessary. The committee therefore urges the management to sustain ongoing corrective measures and fully implement outstanding audit recommendations. The committee is confident that the implementation of the recommendations contained in this report will contribute significantly to the strengthening governance, enhancing accountability, and improving the overall performance of the Minerals Commission in the discharge of its statutory mandate. The committee therefore recommends to the House to adopt its report on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Minerals Commission for the year 2024 in accordance with the standing orders of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, the motion listed 18 has been moved by the chairman of the committee. Any seconder? Yes, Honourable Kwesi Kunedu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, whilst I'm seconding, I'd like to make some few comments about the report and some observations that we made during the committee's hearing on this 2024 internal audit report of the Minerals Commission. Mr. Speaker, one of the most important observations that was made is in relation to the mercury-free gold processing equipment program. So, Mr. Speaker, that is very important because the Minamata Convention talks about the elimination of the use of mercury in the processing of gold. So any program that is fashioned in that way to help in the reduction of the use of mercury and other metals that are harmful to the environment and to the human being, it's important that such programs, Mr. Speaker, are well thought through and done in accordance as to the Minamata Convention. One of the challenges of this program, Mr. Speaker, included the indebtedness on the part of beneficiaries. These equipment that were purchased by the state and given to individuals said that they would use in their processing. But in our candid opinion, Mr. Speaker, once this is a program that will be very beneficial to the country, not only to the individuals engaged in the mining, I think it's appropriate that one way or the other, these equipment, some way, somehow, are given to legitimate people who can then use, rather than debiting it to their accounts for them to pay, because it's in cotonomous with the exchange rate and how it's being purchased on the world market. So that at least that we could regulate them, we could enhance the program that they are doing and also eliminate their use. Because if they are indebted and they cannot pay, they would not even bother, Mr. Speaker, coming for these equipment, and they would rather go and use the mercury without using the mercury-free processing plant. So I think it is one of the most important things that we can consider, and the ministry can also take it up. But however, most importantly, Mr. Speaker, is that the internal audit that is being done in the ministry is yielding reports, because if you look at the report that we have, it states categorically at the committee we noted that progress have been made in strengthening internal controls, accountability, and also addressing some deficiencies in terms of what actually persisted at that time. So it's important that some of these internal audits are taken very seriously in these organizations, so that it can strengthen the organizational activities that they are doing and also promote good governance in the institutions. And with these few words, Mr. Speaker, yes. So with these few words, Mr. Speaker, I'd like the House to accept and adopt this report of the 2024 internal audit of the Minerals Commission. I so move, and thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable members, the motion has been moved, has been seconded. It is now before the House for consideration. So I'll put the question. If there's nobody to comment. Honourable members, the question is, as many as are in favor of the motion listed 18 in today's order paper, say aye. All those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, we will take motion 18. 1-8 on the other paper.
18? The 18 has already been taken.
Mr. Speaker, that is 19.
19.
19, yeah.
Yes. Honorable Konzada.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move motion listed 19 on page 10 of today's order paper. I so move.
Thank you so much. Any seconder? Yes, Honorable Sanja.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Honorable members, the motion has been moved and it has been seconded. And since this is a procedural motion, I'll indulge you to put the question. As many as are in favor of the motion listed 19, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion listed 19 in today's order paper is carried. Yes, Honorable Collins, 20.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I move motion 20, I wish to make a correction on page 2 of the report of the committee. Page 2, paragraph 3.0, that's the background. And the first line, it reads as follows: the office of the administrator of stool lands is mandated to manage public lands. It's not public lands, but rather stool.
Stool lands, yes.
Stool lands. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House this Honorable House adopts the report of the Committee on Lands and Natural Resources on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Office of the Administrator of Two Lands for the year 2024. I so move.
Thank you. Yes,
and in doing so, Mr. Speaker, I present your committee's report and wish to read the conclusion and ask the Hansa Department to capture the report as having been fully read. Mr. Speaker, the committee recognizes the efforts made by the Office of the Administrator of Two Lands in addressing previous irregularities and improving internal controls. However, persistent challenges around funding delays, encroachments, and operational constraints require attention. The committee recommends that Parliament adopts this report and support necessary reforms and funding to strengthen land administration and safeguard national land resources effectively. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much. Yes, Honorable Kweskwadu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion. But in so doing, Mr. Speaker, I would like to speak to a few portions of the report. And most importantly, Mr. Speaker, one of the observations of the committee was the matter of the missing of duplicate counterfoils that some of the revenue collectors use. And I think it became a major issue because they move into most of the hinterlands. Some of these receipts were missing. And a reference was made to the police for them to have proper investigations into that. Mr. Speaker, because these two lands, Office of Administrator of Two Lands, manage the revenue from two lands. And these are monies that constitutionally are to be distributed in a certain manner. Part of it goes to the stool, part of it goes to traditional authorities, part of it goes to the district assemblies so that it can be used for developmental projects. So it's important that, Mr. Speaker, all revenues that are coming from these areas are well accounted for, such that there will be no shortfalls in that. Most importantly, Mr. Speaker, whilst we are speaking and having the committee meeting with the administrator and the staffs of that office, one thing that is a challenge to them currently, Mr. Speaker, is conversion of stool lands into family lands to obscure the administrator's role at administering the revenues that comes from there. Once there's greater conversion or large-scale conversion of stool lands into family lands, it depletes the revenue that they are going to get, and the office oversight on these lands becomes a challenge. So I believe that it is important that these conversions are well carried through, and the Lands Commission and other bodies that are mandated in doing so come in, so that we can stem that tide, so that the Office of Administrator can have a larger role to play in the management of these two lands. It's very important. These conversions are happening at the wrong time and depleting the resources that goes to these areas. And in that effect, the royalties that Nananum and all other institutions will benefit from the stool land. But also, Mr. Speaker, last and most importantly, is the delays in the releases of funds from the Minerals Development Fund as it was seen here. Mr. Speaker, it is important. If the monies get to them, it's important that these monies are released to the Office of Administrator, such that distribution can be made and Nananum have their royalties. Such delays cannot be tolerated going forward. Otherwise, it will diminish the ability of these district assemblies and traditional authorities also to manage them. And with these few words, Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much, and I call on this House to adopt the report as so moved by the Chairman. Thank you.
Honourable members, the motion has been moved and it has been seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. Yes, Honourable Sanja Nanga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To contribute to this, to comment on the report, we realized that the committee realized that there were 9 infractions, and the office of the Administrator of Two Lands, they've been able to implement all those 9 infractions. But the committee took a very serious view of one of such infractions is validation of officers. Some officers were not at post, but were being validated to take salary, which the committee didn't take it kind with the office. Also, one of them is the unearned salary.
Also, an officer traveled outside the country and was still taking salary. The committee was not happy with the committee, with the office, and the office has, even though they've implemented the recommendations and suggestions of the audit general, we caution them. Then one other area is control of revenue collection. Revenues were collected, but were not banked and kept in individuals' pockets. And the explanation was that some of the rural areas, the collectors were not getting access to banking facilities. That was the reason. So we advise that they should find other means of getting the money. Since the public money, they are not supposed to keep some public money for more than 24 hours. They should find a means of getting the money into the banks before the stipulated time. So, Mr. Speaker, with these few observations, in general, we said they did very well and there were improvements in their revenues and other things. So we therefore recommend that the committee, the report should be adopted. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, if that's all the contribution, I'll put the question. Yes, Honourable Shari.
Speaker, thank you very much. Speaker, pursuant to Article 2672 and its constitutional imperative, we are very much aware that the Stool Lands Administration is supposed to manage stool lands. Speaker, but concentration has largely been on raising revenue or how they can mobilize revenue. Speaker, we've had instances where there are double sale of lands, and it's turned into a whole lot of issues, especially in Accra. It will be very prudent for the committee to also perhaps pay attention to this particular issue for our own benefit, that lands, when they are sold or they are given out by stool administrators, it should be in a manner that is well structured so that there won't be double sale of same. Speaker, there is also the need for this office of the stool administrator of stool lands, to also consider collecting stool land revenue, which has been already discussed by the earlier speakers. Speaker, that's with all rents, collect all rents, royalties, dues, ground rents, and other payments. Speaker, that's one of the things we have not paid attention to. Most ground rents are not being paid. We are in occupation of several properties. We are sitting on them. We are operating from those properties, but we are not paying attention to payment of ground rent. Speaker, and this actually inures to the benefit of the administrator of stool lands, that this is how they can even generate proper data and run their offices to the extent people will not be in a position to be doing double sale, because already if they are generating revenue, then we are also helping them to avoid double sale of lands. That is the way they actually do. And Speaker, when those lands are sold, there should be some form of accountability so that whatever revenues that are collected after the sale or from the sale of such lands, there should be proper accountability.
Honorable Jelly, the revenues that are collected by the administrator of stool lands, I don't think it includes sales of land. I think the law is rent, royalties, grants, and those kind of things, which will accrue to the stools and the families. So the sale of the land, I don't think is actually part of their mandate.
Yeah, I'm well guided, but even if the emphasis is on ground rent, which I've actually discussed more, Speaker, that in itself is a problem. That as we sit here, most ground rents are unpaid.
Yes.
And so I am also calling upon the committee to consider paying attention to ground rent and how we can help the office of the administrator of stool lands to structure mechanisms so that all these ground rents are properly collected. Speaker, this is what I was trying to say. And the coordination with traditional authorities. Speaker, in most engagements traditional authorities are left behind. And that also causes a lot of problems. I don't know if you have paid attention to that, because a lot of decisions are made without the involvement of these traditional authorities. And so I know that you will say maybe sales are not a part of it, but we also understand what happens truthfully on the ground, that we may not have that as part of the functions of the office, but we know that some of these things happen. And that is when some of these things are happening, the traditional authorities are not made a party to some of these things. As because the issues of compensation and what have you. So as this report has come, we should also extend our conversations to issues on ground rent, extend our conversations to getting traditional authorities to be a part of the conversation, so that whatever decisions are made, we are all carried along, and therefore there won't be a back and forth situation. Speaker, with these few words, I want to thank you for the opportunity.
Chairman, do you want to make clarifications?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, while I appreciate the concerns raised by Honorable Jerry on the other side, I wish to say that it is not entirely right to put the blame on the Office of the Administrator of School Lands. It is because the problem we encounter is on account of our land ownership system. School lands are owned by the schools. Private lands, family lands are owned by their respective owners. If you look at Article 267, Clause 3, it sought to address this challenge. And with your permission, I will read that. There shall be no disposition or development of any school land unless the Regional Lands Commission of the region in which the land is situated has certified that the disposition or development is consistent with the development plan drawn up or approved by the planning authority for the area concerned. This provision seeks to address the concerns raised, but you know for a fact that in this country, development is ahead of planning. Before you say Jack, people have started developing before the office gets to know that something has happened. And I thought that if we were to follow this, anybody who wants to develop his land must conform to the development plan, which is approved by the respective assembly. Then the administrator of school land becomes aware and therefore can account for that particular disposition and be able to collect the rent and the necessary revenues associated with it. Because we are not following this particular provision, we always encounter this situation. I think it is incumbent on all of us to make sure that this particular provision is followed to the letter. I thank you very much.
So, honorable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, as many as are in favor of motion listed 20 in today's order paper, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion listed 20 is carried. Yes, Honorable Deputy Majority Leader, are you moving to 21?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I think we should do 21, motion 21. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move motion listed 21 at page 11 on today's order paper. I so move.
Honorable members, the motion is moved. Yes, Honorable Sanjay Naja.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I rise to second the motion.
Honorable members, since this procedural, I'll put the question. The question is, as many as are in favor of the motion listed 21, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is carried. Now, motion 22. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I proceed to move motion listed 22, I wish to crave your indulgence to make some corrections on the report. The cover page of the report says the annual report of the Forestry Commission for the year 2022 and 2023. And I wish to correct that it is not this, but rather the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Forestry Commission for the years 2022 and 2023.
Very well.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move motion listed 22 at page 11 of today's order paper. I thank you very much. I so move.
Yes. Honorable Sanjay Nanjari, motion has been moved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the motion ably moved by my able chairman, Honorable Alhaji Collins Dauda. The Forestry Commission, the report was referred to us, and we considered it. One thing we observe is that, the independent auditors actually recommended the Forestry Commission, as there was no any serious infractions. So they recommended them, and for their due diligence in keeping their books and keeping to the financial regulatory framework. But one thing that we observe is that the commission actually is running short of staff, because their explanation was that they have a lot of retirees and have some critical areas of their operations that they want to replace staff. But unfortunately, approvals for recruitment from the Ministry of Finance always delay, and as a result, they are not able to fill the critical positions, and even those who die and those who leave the service at the commission, they are not able to recruit, and it is actually affecting their operations. That said, Mr. Speaker, the commission actually embarked on forest restoration and land restoration activities.
Can you move to conclusion?
Oh, okay. So, Mr. Speaker, in all, they did very well, and they have a lot of achievements, and due to time constraints, I will end it here and recommend to the House to adopt the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, the motion has been moved and has been seconded. It is now before the House for consideration. Yes, Honorable Member for Menshianov.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to comment on the audit report of the Forestry Commission for the year ending 2022-2023. Mr. Speaker, I would just like to speak to two in particular important points in the report. One has to do with point number 5.5, paragraph 5.5 in the report. It talks about inadequate forest protection infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, at the time that we met the commission, they were having issues with the number of forest protection guards that they have in these forest reserves that we have. Because of the nature of how our forest reserves are being depleted, they required a number of persons to be in there, some sort of a paramilitary group to be in there to do that. They have that, Mr. Speaker, but the numbers were not adequate enough to be able to do that. So there was consideration for forward operating bases or camps to be made available. Currently, they have that. But the situation at hand is that they lack in excess of about 2,500 staff strength to be able to do that and maintain this forest reserve, which calls for clearance from the government to be able to do that. So we would urge that once even we have our mid-year budget and the rest coming on, consideration can be given to that, so that they can recruit more individuals to protect our forest and wildlife that we do have, such that these encroachments in our forest reserve and the depletion of our forest resources and the management of it can be done adequately. Secondly, and most importantly, Mr. Speaker, once our forest is being depleted and we are harvesting our resources in the forest, one of the major ones we are harvesting is our timber. Mr. Speaker, we are losing the indigenous species that we do have. Currently, all the ones that we are doing are in terms of plantations. Mr. Speaker, but there is one critical division in the Forestry Commission that is called the Timber Industry Development Division. Mr. Speaker, it's very important because they exist primarily in the ancient days for export promotion and the rest, but in current times, the development aspect of it is important. They are being underutilized because they are being under-resourced. Once we are doing lesser known species now, it requires that more research will be done on them, such that users of these forest resources and the lesser known species. Now we don't have the Otier, the Danguma, the Odum, and the rest. But we can have other ones where research can go into very well. When they are well resourced, it can be used in the same way as we use the indigenous species. So I would urge that efforts be made in resourcing that division of the Forestry Commission, such that these lesser known species, the Speaker, can be developed so that they can now even become the frontier of the new timber that we do have, so that we can cut down on the use of the old ones to be able to replenish our forest reserves. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I ask the House to adopt the report as ably moved by the Chairman.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is as many as are in favour of the motion listed 22 in today's order paper. Say aye. Hey, you don't want to respond. All those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is carried. Yes, Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, can I crave your indulgence to alter the other paper and take addendum 2, which has just been handed to us?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, no, they can lay it.
Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, our side ordinarily must not oppose this. And indeed, we are not going to oppose the laying of this paper. But, Mr. Speaker, the country must know that the free SHS that they themselves criticize, if you read this, it means that they are now taking a loan to finance the free SHS. Whereas we use an internally generated fund. We use resources from within. But, Mr. Speaker, this is not a time for debate. This is not a time for debate. No, Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. Mr. Speaker, this is not a time for debate. The Deputy Education Minister, and you don't have numbers. If you want to obstruct, you don't want me to talk. No. Yes, I know, but let me finish. Yes, let me finish. You are laying a paper would amount to taking decision. Laying a paper would amount to taking. Yes, so please. This is our job. We can't allow things to be just passing. You criticize free SHS. Today, you are taking a loan to finance free SHS. Really? Mr. Speaker, I will hold on for now. But you see, I'm not a prophet, but I told you last year that with time, Ghanaians will know your true colors. Today, you are taking a loan. It took 8 years. Akufo-Addo sustained the free SHS. We managed, yes, Free SHS was never cancelled. Don't bring yourself with any debate that you cannot justify and sustain. Today you are taking a loan. Today you cannot maneuver from within, Mr. Speaker. So let's wait for the right time. When the committee comes with its report, that is when the finance minister will have questions to answer. The finance minister must answer to the nation why he is unable to raise funds from within to finance free SHS and expand infrastructure. You are taking a World Bank loan. Today, you are taking a loan to finance free SHS. NDC. Time has exposed you.
Thank you.
I rest my
leader.
case.
Thank you, leader. So, honorable members, presentation of papers, we are coming back to public business. So, by the chairman of the finance committee. Yes, table.
Report of the Finance Committee on the Credit Facility Agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance, and the International Development Association of the World Bank Group for an amount of $300 million United States dollars to finance the secondary education transformation for access, relevance, and results for jobs projects.
Take this.
Report of the Finance Committee on the Credit Facility Agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance, and the International Development Association of the World Bank Group for an amount of $22 million United States dollars to finance the harmonization and improving statistics in West Africa project, additional financing. Report of the Finance Committee on the Credit Facility Agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance, and the International Development Association of the World Bank Group for an amount of $500 million United States dollars to finance the Ghana Market to finance the Ghana Market Access and Connectivity projects.
Honorable members, the reports of addendum paper 2 of I have been duly presented. I direct that these reports are distributed to honorable members. Yes.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. So now we'll take the motion one on page 2 of the addendum, which we've just laid. Motion number 1.
Yes, Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that motion number 1 on today's order paper addendum 2 be taken now.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Honourable members, the motion has been moved and it has been seconded. It is now before the House for consideration.
Mr. Speaker, that is 104. 104 is procedural.
Yes.
And, yes, Mr. Speaker. Yes, I have it here.
So it's procedural, but I should present to the House
yes,
first
but Mr.
for
Speaker,
consideration.
It cannot be one-sided. He has moved the motion. It is this side that must second it. And then the...
Leader, I looked at this
no,
side.
No, Mr. Speaker, normally he has to consult. So, Mr. Speaker, he had to consult. He did not. And you cannot, Mr. Speaker, the second deputy whip cannot.
Leader.
Mr. Speaker, normally, Mr. Speaker, normally, if the majority comes out very strong like this, what I suggest they do is that they should look behind. Because normally before you come attacking, you have to look at your strength. Look at your strength, Mr. Second Deputy Whip. Weigh your strength before. Mr. Speaker, we are not opposed to this waiver, except that you are asking for leave of the Speaker to move the motion today. That's exactly what the application means. You want us to waive the notice requirement. You want us to waive. Under normal circumstances, Mr. Speaker, you are supposed to move this motion tomorrow. But you want us to move it today. So all your business you bring, you want it fast track, fast track, fast track. You don't want parliamentarians to peruse. You just lay the report. Reports are supposed to be distributed. Members are supposed to go through, because this is a serious matter. You are taking a loan, an IDA facility to finance free SHS. Members would have to read and understand the issues. Why? It took 8 years for the government that introduced free SHS to use domestic sources to fund, and you, in just 1.5 years, free SHS implementation is suffocating you. So you are going for an IDA facility. Mr. Speaker, if they want to still go ahead, fine. But Mr. Speaker, the mover of the motion must tell us why he wants the rules to be suspended. Mr. Speaker, he should tell us why he wants the rules to be suspended to allow him to move it today.
Yes. So
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Chairman, we are listening to you. Yes.
Yes. The agency is that the minister will be here on Thursday, and some of these matters will be addressed in the media budget, and therefore we need to prepare and pave the way for the media review on Thursday. So I want to plead with my senior colleague that he is in the right, but given the circumstances, we are asking him to allow us to move the motion so that we can get it sorted. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, as he may be aware, I'm not an economist, but he knows that this facility has implications on debt sustainability. He says that the minister is going to come here on Thursday, but we have tomorrow. We have tomorrow. So you have not given enough grounds to justify why you want the waiver. All you are telling us is that the minister will come here on Thursday, and because it has to be factored in the media review, we should take it today, waive it, forgetting that members of parliament would have to peruse this document, the report. You are just laying the report. You are telling the nation that you are going to borrow to finance free SHS. For the first time in the history of free SHS, where borrowing is being used to finance it. What has gone wrong, Mr. Speaker? These are matters that MPs would have to interrogate. So don't rush us. Mr. Speaker, he should tell us the urgency. He has not. It is like Parliament is being rushed. Mr. Speaker, my duty is to put this case across. If they want to use their numbers to take it, Mr. Speaker, I would have done my job. But there's really no urgency. Has anything suddenly arisen, giving rise for you to apply for a waiver? Tell us. But if you merely say the minister will come here on Thursday, then we have tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I am the leader of this site. I don't have a copy of the report. If you want us to take it now, Mr. Speaker, it's not on the console. I don't have a hard copy. Mr. Speaker, I don't have it. Please, Honorable Achampo, with respect, I don't have it. I don't have it. They brought two, they said, for the committee members. So let's be fair.
Yes, I think the... Okay, leader.
Mr. Speaker, we will take a 1-hour suspension so that the reports will be distributed. Members will have the opportunity to study it, and then we will take the reports. Because he has said that he hasn't received a copy, and he is the minority. He is the minority leader. He says he doesn't have copies. So we will give each other an opportunity, 1 hour, to study the report and come back so that we'll take it. Well, the terms are usually the same. So if you want us to go and bring previous loan agreements and the terms at which you were lending and then what you were using the monies for, we can go and bring those agreements. But we don't want to go that far. So let's just take 1 hour suspension and then and come back and take care.
Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Lisa, I'm listening.
Mr. Speaker, this application by the majority leader is very rich. Mr. Speaker, very rich. And I'm very curious. I am very curious the calm demeanor with which he made the application. The last time he asked for 1 hour, he used 5 hours to mobilize. Mr. Speaker, and I've seen his chief whip in the chamber.
So
we are not sure what they are up to with this 1 hour.
So leader, then let's go on.
Mr. Speaker, no.
So then let's go on. If you have seen the trace, then let's go on.
Mr. Speaker, let the application be granted as prayed. Let the application be granted as prayed.
Very well. So, honorable members, indulge me to suspend the House for 1 hour.